Plaintiff Susan Wright says 6 months after she started dating the defendant, she and her kids moved in with him. Susan claims soon after, she discovered he was an abusive alcoholic. So she moved out, and she's suing him today for personal property. Defendant John Howenstein admits that he drank while dating Susan, but says he is now 3 years sober. John says he treated Susan well and even bought her a BMW. John denies owing Susan for her property.
Start with you.
Back in 2006, I met John. I was working nights at a restaurant, and he was friends with the owner, so that's how I got to know him. And after about a year of him coming in as a regular and talking to him about business and things like that, I had decided to quit my teaching job, and I went to work with him full-time as his personal assistant for his company. And about 3 months later, we started dating. And about 6 months after that, he asked me and my kids to move in with him because we were spending most of our time together through work and after work too, so it just made sense. And immediately upon moving in with him, I realized how much he consumed alcohol. Every morning started off with vodka cranberry at 6 a.m. and would continue on throughout the day. And I didn't realize this before because I didn't live with him. So, and that progressively got more and more with the amount of alcohol he was consuming every day, which until it severely impacted the way he treated his clients and me and my children, and it was unacceptable. My daughter and I were watching TV Saturday morning, Cheerios, you know, he came in and he was losing clients and his business. He came in and he tossed the cereal all over us, and I looked at her and she had like a tear on her face, and I just like didn't know what to do, so I like licked it off her face. I'm like, oh, that was really good. That day I had the kids moved out, and I came back to try to work on the relationship, but you know, it just got more and more abusive towards me, you know, on every level. Mm-hmm. It was a dominating fact in our relationship and his business relationship. He started losing clients because of inappropriate behavior and comments.
All right, and so you all broke up when?
Probably the end of 2009.
Okay. Sir, let me hear some background from you.
I think that's relatively true in the timelines. The memory's not all that good. I'm proud to say that I'm 3 years sober.
Good.
Yeah.
Congratulations. How old are you?
I'll be 65 in October.
I'm 54,
65.
and my memory is going, so. You're 65, you say?
Be 65.
Okay. I mean, I got a bigger problem than you. You can remember. See, sometimes I can't even remember my age. How old am I again? Go ahead.
Well, you look good at it, though. So.
But it's good to hear that you are in recovery. So, prior to that, however, did you have this woman move in with you? And after she uprooted herself, moved her children in with you, you became abusive?
Well, I wouldn't see it from that angle, but I'll accept that from another. I tried to be accommodating. I took the kids in and housed the kids and bought her a nice BMW, a new BMW. I shuttled the kids to school and back, picked them up to their events and went on. Did a lot of the cooking and cleaning. Obviously, I was excited to have a chance to...
I know that's right, doctor.
Well, I mean, look at her. I was excited to have a chance.
That's what I say. I know that's right.
So I mean, it was all good. And
how long did it take for you shelled out for that BMW?
It was a quick move, but
I know it was.
you need all the straws you can grab. And no, I was immediately attracted to Susan upon meeting her and stuff like that, and tried to do the best I could.
How long after did you become abusive?
Well, again, abusive, I don't know that was anything differently than my standard MO.
Then your what?
Standard operating procedure. In other words, I might not have detected what abusive was. It was not a physical thing. I guess if you're drinking or consuming alcohol, but I'm not as conscious of things or behavior I might have had.
All right. It is good to hear that you are in recovery. Prior to that, however, did you have this woman move in with you? And after she uprooted herself, moved her children in with you, you became abusive?
Well, I wouldn't see it from that angle, but I'll accept that from another. I tried to be accommodating.
Plaintiff Susan Wright dated the defendant, but says after she and her children moved in with him, she discovered the defendant was an abusive alcoholic.
You're suing him for personal property. How does he owe you for that?
When I did leave, because when I did,
When was that?
it was back in September '09, I believe, and I left like with nothing. I left the house with the clothes on my back, and I left and I didn't look back. So then I came back to try and get my property, and
How long after?
about a month after, and I came with 3 helpers and a truck. And when I arrived, he came out of the garage with blood dripping from his head and yelling and cursing things at me, saying lots of derogatory names at me and telling me that I needed to leave and he didn't want me there. So one of the movers suggested we call the police to come and have the police, just keep the peace is what they call it. And when they arrived, John, he has a blue-fronted Amazon parrot, and it's really mean. It's really pretty, but it's really mean. He put it on the fence and said for the police not to come in, for me not to come in. And the bird was getting aggressive with the police, and the police said that they were going to pepper spray the bird and taser him if he didn't take the bird back inside. And he just thought he was all, smart for putting the bird there. And I was just going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
What did happen?
And so he eventually put the bird back inside, and he allowed just my helpers to go in and remove just a few things, wouldn't allow me to go in. So
Who wouldn't?
John would not.
What about the police?
The police said that it's his home and he has the right to say who comes in and who does not come in and what comes in and what comes out.
Oh, okay, and he didn't mind the movers coming in.
Yeah, but they only got like the kids' beds.
He
and their
didn't mind the
nightstands.
movers coming in.
No, he did not.
Okay.
Just as at first, yeah, he did not mind them, but he did not want me in there. So
Okay.
upon leaving, I'm like, okay, this is not even close to anything that I left there. So
How did the movers know what to pick?
he let them know what to pick.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, there's much more stuff there. He said, that's it. He wants you to go, so you have to go. So then after that, I made multiple attempts to come back to get my stuff, when it was safe, when he's not being aggressive towards me. And
How many times?
probably about 3 times, but it just wasn't going to happen because just the energy was bad. It was really,
3 times over the course. This was '09.
Yeah, it was during, within the next month was 3 times. And then I consulted a friend of mine who's a professional arbitrator. And so I went and asked him if he would kind of arbitrate and mediate to coordinate so I can go in and get the rest of my things because I had a lot of stuff still in
And what
there.
happened?
Then we went in there and John had a couple of his friends there and I had him there and my movers there. And this is the first time I was allowed back in the house. And I walked in my closet and I have some pictures here. I'm kind of OCD when it comes to neat and
So your things were
organization.
gone?
I like to actually take pictures
So
of
your
my
things
drawers.
were gone?
Only hangers left.
Okay.
Only hangers left. And so
That was when?
that was about 2 months later.
Okay.
And
about-
and in the kids' rooms, I had them go in. I walked up there and there was the TVs were gone. This
And what
was
have you done since then?
I have tried to get him to find my stuff because all my stuff was
Oh,
missing.
he told you, what did he tell you?
He said
had
that he
happened?
was not sure where it was. Many people had been in and out of the house since I had left, and that anyone could have taken it. He wasn't sure where it went or what happened to it. I knew that he was having a struggle with alcoholism and he's going to AA, so I just kind of backed off and just assuming that he would do the right thing. Maybe when he got sober in his head.
When did you find out he was sober?
I just heard from people that had worked with him in the industry.
When?
About a year back or something like that. They said he'd been going to AA and that he was sober. So I'm like, oh, okay.
You waited till he was sober before you tried to get your things.
Yeah, he lost his house, he lost his business, he
know.
lost pretty much everything. So wait until it kind of settled and possibly I'd be able to get my stuff.
Okay. What did he say then?
He said he has no idea where it was. All his stuff was in storage and, he didn't know what to say and he had nothing to offer me
All right.
other
Sir?
than...
My read on it was that I had offered and opened up the house for her to come in for a couple days and take any accommodation.
Watch how well his memory works on this. Go ahead.
It's coming back to me, it's good. And arranged to take all her accommodation that she wanted to and open my house to her for that.
Plaintiff Susan Wright dated the defendant, but says after she and her children moved in with him, she discovered the defendant was an abusive alcoholic.
Did the police come?
The police did make a visit.
Why do you think they had to come? Just coincidentally, they wanted to come and say hi, you give them a
Probably
cup of
so.
coffee,
You know,
provide them some donuts.
It was a private community, and it was probably the nature of the moving itself and some of the verbal discussions that were
There
taking
you go,
place and
verbal
the volume.
discussions. Police came because of your verbal discussion?
Yes, I would think that would be
Okay,
correct,
what was
yeah.
the nature of that discussion that the police had to come?
As to
Coincidentally, the movers were there, as she says. Go ahead.
it would had to do with what was her property and what was not her property, basically. There was a lot of nice, expensive mahogany furniture that I had in my office there. There was a captain's table I know that I purchased that was being moved out. There was a number of antique
How about
lamps.
her items? Did she have any of her items there?
She had items there, and they were all
Okay,
moved
so
out.
were you all arguing about that?
Oh, no, just items that belonged to me.
Tell me what they were.
A captain's table, it's called.
A captain's table.
Captain's
She tried
table.
to take that?
Yes, she was.
All right, and what else?
There was an antique lamp that my father had. She
tried
was
to
an
take
antique
that?
Chinese lamp.
All right. So she walked up to the captain's table and to your antiques and attempted to do what? Pick them up or told you I'm taking them or what?
The antique table, she had one of the movers move, and I believe this
Okay, she
gentleman
told
sitting
them,
here.
let's
Yeah.
take it.
She told them to take it. Yes, she instructed them to take it.
And did they pick it up and try and take it out?
Indeed, they did.
And what did you do?
Well, I would making the request at that stay that it had
And
belonged
then what
to me.
happened?
The discussion went on for a few minutes, and then I reneged on it and let it go.
Oh, so she did leave with the things.
She did leave with all the possessions, yes.
Your possessions.
Yes.
It's your captain's table.
No, well, that was a table. Then there was a lamp that was an antique.
What did she leave with that belonged to you?
The captain's table.
You just told me she didn't.
And the antique, no.
Did she leave with the captain's table or not?
That was taken, yes, it was.
Because
sir.
you remember you just said no.
Remember, I had
So
a
she
memory
took
problem, too.
Yeah, I know. All right. That's your answer, memory problem? Judgment for the plaintiff.
I'm sorry for any of the things that might have transpired. Our memories differ on what happened. But bottom line, as long as everything's fine now and you get what you need, then I'm happy. So your happiness was always one of the things I was in pursuit of. So as long as you're happy, I'm happy.
I hope you continue to not drink, because I'm sure it'll
I want
make you a
one
better
now,
person.
actually, yeah. But I'll try to deal with that.
Okay, well, good luck.